all's well with everyone as we're chilling and hanging out. Talking to you guys as I see you guys. Right now, we're just on our way to this competition. Hope all's well with everyone. Hello, how are you doing today, Min? And me, Doomer. I had a feeling you would want me to remember you right away. You doing okay? That's good to hear. But yeah, right now, normally I don't stream this early on a Saturday, but when it's competition day, I sometimes do when I don't feel like I'm running late, but I'm slightly behind schedule, but I should be okay. Just know that this isn't a usual stream. But yeah. I don't want you to always think there's going to be a Saturday morning stream, so I want you to be aware of it, because I know some people, once they see something, they are like, okay, is it going to happen every time? Just if you're busy, don't feel like you had to stop by. Because I know that's why you're not in my evening streams, because it's your bedtime, most likely, or about to be your bedtime, depending on how it is. So never feel bad if you miss any of my streams. Because at the end of the day, you guys come when you are able to. Feel like you're stressing out to stream, because I know that we all have our own schedules to maintain. I understand that. Hello, Katie. How are you doing today? Understand that. Doomer. Just, even though I know you guys are both avoiding the word, just make sure you're not saying it at school if you are school students. Yep, indeed, Dragon. How are you doing today? Welcome in. This from me at the end of the day, it's one of those cases that I don't want you guys to get in trouble of what you do. Because as a teacher, that we can't say which way you guys should do things about it. So I just want you to make sure that you do things correctly for yourself and not have a reason why you get in trouble. That's good to hear, Dragon. It's just one of those cases that I just try to talk to everyone. I'm heading to a competition that my students are doing today because I'm one of the math coaches. So that's why I'm up this early on a Saturday. Love you too, brother. But at the same, for me, it's just one of those cases that I just try to cheer you guys all up and help you guys stay positive, because sometimes we need that in the world. That being positive, because yeah, for me, I'm a high school math teacher / college instructor when I'm not on YouTube, and I'm also a math coach, so I have responsibilities besides just the school day. It's one of those cases. When it happens, it will happen, but I'm not stressed about it because I want it to be where you guys don't feel like I can't say hi to everyone. Because I know sometimes we might have it when the chat is so fast that I might have to enable slow mode in the future. Who knows? So I can make sure that I can see all of the chats. It happens, Dragon. Because I know whether it's because of a teacher, sometimes someone that's your classmate, sometimes other things or something that confused us in math and never got explained properly. That I understand completely about hating math, and that's why in my classes when I'm teaching them, I'm like, I know you may despise math, but hopefully by the end of the year you guys appreciate math just a little bit more, even if you still tell me at the end of the day that you hate it. Yeah, for me it's one of those cases that I don't really look at the viewer numbers sometimes, besides when I'm curious, because at the end of the day, I'm just talking to those of you that I see in chat. Thank you for the 100, Doomer. I guess you wanted to do the clutch too. Just make sure you're not spending too much of yours or your family's money, because I don't want you to feel like you're running funds if you're wanting to buy stuff for yourself. No worries at all, Dragon. No worries at all. If you don't mind me asking, what part of math made you stop enjoying it? If you don't mind me asking, because there's always a turning point when it happens. Okay. Just making sure, Doomer. Just making sure. Yeah. Math is meant to do that for those of us that understand math better. But when we're trying to understand it, that is that fine line of feeling like you are up for the challenge and you're like, what's the point? That there's that fine line. Okay. I can understand that, Dragon. Especially the different levels of things that you have to keep track of. Yeah, I understand that. Did you have problems when there was variables, or you haven't seen that yet? Just so I know which part of math you've seen. Because I know every school has their own set of classes that you take in order. Like for my high school, we do Algebra 1, then Geometry, or they start Geometry, then Algebra 2 most of the time. Sometimes they go into Algebra, what class called Algebra Reasoning, and then from Algebra 2 they can go to Pre-Cal, Stats, and sometimes there's other ones depending on the school. And this is talking about advanced classes as well. And then after Pre-Cal and Stats is either they go to Calculus or they go to College Prep Math. They need to pass the state tests that we do for the TSI to determine they're college ready. Nice. Hey, Danny Barry, how you doing? Welcome in. Understand that, Dragon. Understand that. Especially putting it correctly in the correct equation on the Excel document, especially when you're still learning it. I can see the difficultness. Yeah. And that happens sometimes, even though formulas can be tough, there's going to be some formulas that are easier for us to grasp. But the disappointing thing is, even though we may despise math for some of us, I just hope that when you're looking at it, just try to see, when you're looking, how can you relate to something you've seen? Because sometimes, like how it is with English and history, there's patterns to things. So sometimes by us knowing something can help us with something else, even if it doesn't feel like that they relate sometimes. No worries at all, Dragon. No worries at all. Never feel bad about it, because you know your strengths and weaknesses, and that's the important thing, especially once it is time for you to think about what you do after school. School is done as a senior of your decision. Do you go to the workforce right away? Do you go to college to get a degree? Do you go to trade school to get a certification / technical school? Do you go to other things depending on what you want to do and what you need and what your family would prefer you to do? I know there's something else decisions, but how do you make it for yourself? Yeah, happens, Goomer. Like I said, we all have our strengths and weaknesses for a reason. I can understand that, especially if you're still making what some teachers will say, comma slices and stuff. If you don't mind me asking, Dragon, what kind of degree are you thinking about doing so far? What's interesting to you? Thank you for the floating heart, Boomer. For the commas wise, try to think about it depending on how long you're writing. Besides just the fanboys, as they will say, the for and not, but or. Yeah, I forget why is sometimes. So Okay. And remember, depending on how you decide to do things in the future, Dragon, that they'll want you to eventually look at QuickBooks and other programs where you don't always have to just use an Excel document to do things. It's just when we first learn about it, we want to understand the formulas behind the screen instead of just what's in front of us. Because sometimes if there's a mistake or the internet's out, can we still do our job fine? That's one of those things why we prepare for any situation, even if we know that most of us may not run into the problems of having no internet, but with different storms, you never know. But that's why maybe with me saying some things about it that helps you guys see things a little bit better, even if you still say when you're taking the classes you're like, I don't want to do this. Because I know some of you guys it's fractions, some of you guys it's decimal, some of you guys it's when we included negatives, some of you guys it was when it was variables, and many other things. Because remember that sometimes, whether it's because it didn't make sense to us or that we had a bad teacher, sometimes that what can cause our learning to just want to dip. So, have you looked at the multiplication chart, Doomer? Just asking for you wise. I know, not on the so, and you know how to read it, correct? And when you're looking at it, correct? I'm just making sure. Yep. 3-digit. And are you getting stuck on by 1 digit or 2 digits? Hello, Danny. How are you doing? Welcome in. Okay. So like 1, 2, 3 times 1, 4, 5. Yep. I understand that. Are you in your school, do you guys use zeros or X's to help you guys with the place values you don't use? Okay. I understand that. I'll have to remind myself number line wise how they want you to do it, because it's been a while since I've done the multiplication with number lines, because in high school we don't use it, but I have seen it before because of tutoring other students in the past. So I'll have to look at it at some point and explain it more. Nice, Dragon. Have you thought about majoring in one of those at some point? Because remember, for plant, you can do biology in some sense. since depending on what kind of biology you're going towards, it can relate to that. That anatomy goes towards nursing, depending on if you want to become a nurse, and a nurse or a doctor or other things. But it does take longer to do, depending on what track you want to do. And earth science is geology, and some people study geology in college. Yep. And my mom got to meet him in person because they was just happened to be in the same conference at the same time. In high school, it doesn't happen on a frequent basis like it does in elementary. I'm sure we do have it, but I haven't heard much about it, just because that for us, we do other things besides science fair, where we have to worry about doing different testing in between all of that. So sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle of if someone's competing at the fair. Because in elementary, middle school, they do it because we don't have as much testing. But in high school, some high schools, we have to worry about a lot of testing between the 4 grade levels of what's required at the state level. So sometimes we hear about the science fair, but it's one of those cases that it's, for some people, it's in the back burner of things. That's not like set as a huge priority like it is in elementary school, and middle school. That people still do them, but some students who have to set priorities may not do it as their first choice. Fortunately for the schools that I work at, we don't have to worry about that. That's good news. That I teach at the high school level, and right now we're going to a competition at a different high school because we have competitions. And we still have roughly 30 minutes of driving, a little bit sooner maybe, depending on how traffic is. Sometimes it might be only 20, who knows. This is where I am right now. Because right now we've been streaming for about 24 minutes now. Hopefully he gets that checked if he needs to. is indeed faster, and it's just one of those cases that you just have to make sure that when you do eventually drive, that you keep an eye on what everyone else is doing, not just what you want to do. Because sometimes you give space even if it makes you slightly a bit slower, because you don't want it to be, you have to worry about what others are doing around you. Especially like this one was at the leftmost lane and just but needed to switch over. So because I gave him space, he was able to do it without worrying about if I was not giving him enough room to turn. But some people, they like trying to get somewhere right away and not worry about anyone else, because they feel like that they're more important than someone else. So and what makes some of us of the other drivers being like, really? Why? Why would you do that? Yeah, I would never, like, sometimes I'll drive fast, but it's because of the where I'm driving. But if it's somewhere where I'm not supposed to drive fast, I'm not gonna try to feel like I'm a speed demon. And feel like I'm trying to go above the speed limit. Like on the highway, that sometimes you go with the flow of traffic, not the flow of the speed limit. Because if you go too slow around everyone else, even if it's the speed limit, you can still get pulled over. But it depends on the people you're driving next to at the time. Officer, as long as they see everyone's driving peacefully and not looking like that they're having road rage, that they're usually okay if a group of people are going 10 above. But there are some places where just going 2 above gets you a ticket. So that's why you have to, once you do start driving, you have to figure those out when you see a cop car nearby. Don't just slow down and send them, because that just lets them know, all right, what speed was you at? And they might keep an eye on you the next time they see you. Unfortunately, that has happened to people. I know I haven't experienced it myself, but I know that we see it in different videos from time to time, so it does not surprise me, unfortunately. It's probably someone who's like, hey, you got my order wrong, and throw it at the closest car they're nearby, because they don't feel like going back in to get it redone. That term is more for someone who's always trying to point out things that doesn't need to be pointed out. once in a while, it makes sense why some do it, but there's a reason why they got. That's why they say for a male version, sometimes it's Kyle, sometimes it's another name. I forget the other name. Yeah. You can call me Rhypi, Rhypi. Whether you say Rhypi, Rhypi, and depending on if you ever watch other people's streams that know me, I have 10 different ways my name is said, depending on where I am. But if you ever, because I know you watch my videos sometimes, I would recommend checking out the first milestone video I ever made when I only had 50 subscribers, if you want to know the name origin of why I'm called Rhypi. That's why, besides the content of the channel, why on my channels is Rhypi something, whether it's gaming like this one, or music when I do my music compositions, or talks when I do more structured talks from time to time, when I'm available to do them. And I have other ones that I don't really post much, but I keep it there just in case I do decide to do videos in the future on those topics. And for me, the funny thing is there's a channel that at one point that had Rhypi that also made gaming content, but they only made videos when I wasn't doing things on my music channel, because that was my first channel and this channel. Ever since I came back, they stopped posting. I'm like, okay, that's weird. Yep. But I don't teach gaming classes. I just teach math. I know some people that does teach gaming. But it's usually an elective class. I just feel bad that I've been tired lately, that I've only been able to stream up to 2 hours on the games if it's on a Saturday or Sunday. At some point I want to start my recording schedule again, so I can have content if I need to scale back to streaming at some point, that you guys will still have content every day. Alrighty, have a good one, Doomer. Enjoy your video making. Welcome in, everyone. If you're just tuning in, I'm Rhypi. If you haven't met me before, hope all's well. I'm a high school math teacher / college instructor. And you don't see me on YouTube. When you do see me on YouTube, I'm usually doing gaming or these driving streams. Now, on rare occasions, I do card pack / car box opening when I'm able to buy cards. Peace, Doomer. Thank you for the 300s. 4? Guess you wanted an even 25 or 50 on your side. Have a good one. hope all is well with everyone as we're just relaxing and chillaxing. Almost done with the drive. Now we have about 10 minutes left of the drive if everything works out right. And I don't have to worry about any slowdowns on the highway because we're about to enter another highway soon. Because we're kind of like on a freeway at the moment. But hope all is well with everyone as we're just chilling out, hanging out, talking to you guys as I see you guys. Just relaxing, chillaxing on the way. That, for those of you that are wondering why I'm doing a Saturday stream, is because I'm going to a math competition. So, hopefully, we do well today because we've been kind of, in one of the math events, been first place. One of the math events, we've been anywhere from second to fourth to fifth. Hopefully we're able to still make it into top 6. And my event, last time we got third place, but not everyone was on the team, but the one who we was wondering why they haven't shown up decided not to be with us at least during this competition, so we'll still have one less score that's a high score, but at the end of the day, it's the student's decision. And I'm not gonna just keep being like, hey, are you gonna come? I don't want that student to feel bad. Because they already made their decision. Everyone has their own decision to make when it comes to what they want to do at whatever time you're saying. So there's a reason why we build time management, even if it's not an official class. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream here, even though I'm not near the high school, just because I want to make sure that if someone does try to call me before I get there, that I'm able to answer it right away. So I hope everyone has a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you're watching this stream. That I'll see you guys later tonight when I reveal what won in the cake game, because we just finished last week. So we'll try to play the cake game when I get back home. And I'm gonna look at the results this morning to determine what wins. So I know when I'm home what I need to download. 'Cause I don't think anyone else is going to vote for it since we did everything we can. Reminding you guys to vote. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.